All right, the next pattern I'm going to talk about is almost more of a workaround than a pattern. You may have found yourself when modeling trying to reach for what we call nested arrows. So being able to use one arrow and then immediately use another arrow on the results of the first arrow. The reason that we can't do this right now is because of the way the dispatching happens, because of the way problems are sent off as subproblems to other nodes to be computed. But through the use of syntactic sugar, we could actually implement this directly into the language. And there's an open issue right now for collecting feedback for how best to do this and what the user experience will look like and what the implementation will look like. All right, so let's start with why you would want a nested arrow. So back to our standard example, we're going to add a folder level of hierarchy to this. And we're going to add a relation to the folder, and we're just going to call it, I don't know, folder admin. And we're going to make that a user. Now we're going to have documents belong to a folder. Or we could say the parent is a folder. And then theoretically here, we might want to bring in the folder's admins as viewers on the document. And so the natural way to reach for would be to say folder parent folder admin. And that will work just fine. But if we also want the folder to belong to potentially like an even higher level object, like an organization, org admin. Right? If we want to also bring in the org admin here, we can't say parent, which is of type folder. And then we can't say, sorry, missing a parent here, where we could say organization. We couldn't say parent org admin. And we can't do this because we don't support nested arrows. So the workaround for this is to, at any intermediate level, you can create a synthetic permission, which will include the additional computations that you need upstream. So here, the way I like to usually write them is I would say, I would translate the arrow to just an underscore. So here we would say parent org admin. And then the computation for that is just parent org admin. Org admin. And then down here, we would say parent underscore org admin. And like I say, theoretically, we could fix this at the compiler level. There's actually an open issue. It's SpiceDB issue 15. So you can tell this has also been an issue for a little while. The biggest challenge with just going in and fixing it is actually error messages. So how do we make sure that error messages are still sensical if we're injecting these sort of synthetic permissions? So I also usually denote these as a synthetic relation. So this is just something that exists to simplify this computation down here. And now we can prove that it all works. We can add our document to a folder. Parent at folder 1. And then we can add our folder to an organization. And then we can give the organization an org admin of user Jake. And now we should see that Jake is also allowed to view the document by virtue of being an org admin. And that's it. That's how we work around the lack of nested arrows when writing a SpiceDB schema. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.